Did China's rivers shape its history? Even in Neolithic times, the fertile plains around these rivers supported large populations with abundant food surpluses, allowing Stone Age cultures to cultivate various crops and domesticate animals while becoming more sophisticated. The Lungshan people introduced silk production and crafted refined, strong yet extremely thin pottery with near machine-like precision. These early peoples were highly vulnerable to the flooding of these great rivers. Thousands could perish from an unexpected flood. From the Lungshan culture evolved the semi-mythical Xia Dynasty, which, through advanced irrigation techniques, protected its cities from flooding and further increased crop yields. This possibly allowed the first emperors to rule over multiple peoples, ensuring they were fed and protected from natural disasters, and they were said to have the mandate of heaven. The Xia were eventually conquered by the Shang. These extremely warlike people brought the Middle Kingdom fully into the Bronze Age and into recorded history because they were the first to widely use writing. They were known for their cruelty and incorporated vast numbers of slaves into their armies. They would be conquered by the Zhou dynasty, who were aided by many slaves defecting from the Shang to join their cause. The long-lived Zhou dynasty witnessed the development of fundamental societal institutions, primarily the philosophies of Taoism, which advocated humility and religious piety for a harmonious and fulfilling life, and Confucianism, which emphasized living a rational life for ultimate fulfillment. A complex feudalistic system also developed, where 70 quasi-states paid homage to a single emperor. Over the centuries, these states developed independent cultures and identities, and the Zhou Empire devolved into nation-states entangled in near constant warfare with each other. Out of centuries of chaos, the state of Qin under Emperor Qin Shi Huang united all under heaven and is considered the first leader of a unified China. To keep China unified, he is said to have ordered a massive book burning and executed scholars to erase the histories of individual states so the nation would have only one identity and one history. Qin Shi Huang also ordered the construction of large portions of the Great Wall of China, built a massive canal connecting the north and south of the country, and constructed an impressive tomb, among many other projects during his reign. However, his dynasty did not last long. Following Qin Shi Huang's death, the empire descended into revolt and chaos. The province of Han consolidated power and maintained the unified realm. The Han were contemporaries of the Roman Empire and exported massive amounts of silk over what became known as the Silk Road. Because this was so profitable, they expanded the empire westward to control this vital trade route. This is considered China's first golden age, and this period saw many famous generals and significant scientific advancements. The Han Empire eventually split into three, with each partition having an emperor claiming legitimate succession from the Han. The Jin were descended from generals who usurped the imperial throne. They reunited China, but their reigns were seldom peaceful, marked by violence and disorganization, devolving into local rule where 16 kingdoms warred against each other, with two emerging as longtime rivals in the period known as the Northern and Southern Dynasties. This era is often considered a dark age dominated by warlords who raided the land and by barbarian incursions. The Sui dynasty was a short-lived imperial dynasty in China of pivotal significance. The Sui unified the Northern and Southern dynasties and reinstalled the rule of ethnic Han Chinese, beginning a process of cultural integration of the barbarians who had migrated into China during the centuries of chaos. It was succeeded by the Tang dynasty, which largely inherited its foundations. The Tang dynasty is often considered the zenith of Chinese civilization and is the second golden age. This period was characterized by internal stability, scientific advancement, and cultural refinement. It was during this time that Chinese culture spread throughout Asia, fueled by many merchants, artisans, and philosophers from surrounding kingdoms, who were welcomed into the courts and halls of study throughout the Tang period. All good things come to an end, and so did the Tang. They began to persecute Buddhists and became increasingly authoritarian by the end of their dynasty, and after suppressing several rebellions, they were deposed and China once again entered a period of chaos. From this period, the Song dynasty unified China. Their dynasty is noted for its technological achievements, including the magnetic compass, gunpowder, and mass printing, which they used to create the world's first national paper currency. This age of enlightenment was brought to a swift end when the Mongols invaded, and Genghis Khan's grandson Kublai Khan established the Yuan dynasty. For the first time, the entire Silk Road connecting China to Europe was controlled by one power, and the Yuan dynasty saw a great period of cultural diversity and material goods flowing into China. This dynasty was short-lived and was supplanted by the Ming dynasty. This dynasty is seen as a prosperous time, a high point for art and literature. They were succeeded by the long-lived Qing dynasty, which began like a golden age and ended in disaster. That was first triggered by the British obsession with tea. They loved drinking it, but they hated paying the Qing ton after ton of gold and silver for it. So they came up with an evil empire solution, if there ever was one. They illegally flooded China with opium. When the Qing clamped down on the British opium trade, the British went to war to ensure the opium kept flowing into China. China stagnated afterwards and closed itself off as much as possible from the West. In 1911, the last emperor of China was removed from the throne in a deal made by the boy emperors. Advisors, which they did not inform him of, and pretended he was still emperor for some time. Imperial China was succeeded by the Republic of China, and then the People's Republic of China. That was Epimetheus. Want more history? If you enjoyed this lightning speed version of China's dynasties, I would greatly appreciate you smashing the like button, leaving a comment, subscribing, and sharing the video with your friends. I'm a one-man operation and making these videos on my tablet. Your support keeps me going and making new content. I have a big thanks to all my awesome patrons who help make this possible. If you like this, you may also like one of these other videos.